What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's Daily Devotional, man. And we're going through the book of John. We are in John chapter 16, 29 through 30, man. And we have been on the farewell discourse of Jesus, where he is giving his last kind of words to his disciples before he goes to his glorification, his death and resurrection. And he's preparing them for this moment. And this is the summing up of it, of the moments of all the things that he has talked about during this, which has been service, being humble, caring for one another, loving one another, but then also the difficulty that's going to happen because they do follow Jesus, but that joy will ultimately come from this. And so he is finishing this discourse, and then finally the disciples have something to say. So after Jesus has spoken this whole time, the disciples finally say something, man. And that's where we're at today. So if you haven't read it yet, go ahead and check out John 16, 29 through 30, 16, 29 through 30, and we'll discuss it. Stop the tape, check it out, come back. And if you've already read it, then we're going to answer these 4 questions, man. And the first question is, what's happening? And so after the disciples have listened to Jesus, they say, dang, he don't speak in us parables anymore, man. We understand what he's saying, man. And we know that he is not in need of anyone to question him. He says, because he knows all things, bro. He knows all things, man. And we believe that he came from God. So the disciples have taken what Jesus says and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? When Jesus said something, they automatically assumed that now it is in them, which in one sense is like because they trust Jesus so much and the words that he says that they believe it. But they didn't quite understand what he was saying because they said now they know fully what's going on, when really it's going to be when the Spirit comes, when God sends the advocate, the paraclete, the comforter, the counselor, when he sends him to this earth. That is when the disciples will know. But they're just so excited to hear Jesus and know what he's saying. And they're like, oh, okay, now he's speaking clearly, because that's what Jesus said. He says, there's going to be a time when I'm not going to speak in parables, but I'm speaking clearly to you. And he's like, oh, now he's speaking clearly because he's telling us that we're going to know everything, man. But then they come with their confession. They said that they believe that he came from God. That he came from God. Now the question is usually, isn't it usually like you have to ask questions if you don't know everything? But this one says no one's in need of asking questions to you. What particularly does that mean? Well, that is something that has been happening this entire time. That Jesus has been walking on this earth. The ruling elite Jews have been testing Jesus. And that's what this is really about, is that Jesus has no need of tests. That he didn't have to take any kind of quiz because he knows everything. And no one can question his motives. No one can ask him the way in which something should be, because he is the one who knows how to get it done. There's no tests, no quizzes, man. No pop quizzes for Jesus. There's nothing that they can say that could prove him to be unwise. That's what the ruling elite, the Jews, the Pharisees, the priests, the scribes, all of them were trying to do to Jesus, was to catch him up, to show how he isn't as smart as he thinks he is, or as wise as he claims to be. But we find that Jesus passes these with flying colors. So what does this say about God? I think it was important for me to say that because what it says is that God cannot be questioned. The things that he does, the way that he operates, his purposes and plans are without fault. And sometimes we want to ask why? But ultimately, and it's okay to ask why. I'm not saying don't do that, because just crying out to God in whatever capacity your heart has is a beautiful and wonderful thing, because God knows it anyway. And so for us to express it is to acknowledge it. But what the underlying thing is what we're talking about here every day, trusting in Jesus. Is that even though in the why, in the how comes, we realize that God is good and he is good to us. And so when these situations, these circumstances occur, we can know that he has the perfect way in which to carry out whatever it is that we should carry out. It's because he's all wise. There ain't no need to question him and what he is doing, because he knows what he's doing. What's to say about man is, man, we should trust. We should trust in Jesus. Basically, we should understand and know that whatever he's doing is good for us, and that we should live according to what he says and see the greatness that will occur from it. Another thing, though, is like not to be so hastily proclaiming something, because, see, these disciples come out and they say, hey, man, we believe, yeah, we know that you're true and all these things, but we're going to find out when Jesus answers in the next episode that things aren't the way they seem. So let's not be so hasty with our words and our claims. So how do we apply these truths to our lives, man? Well, I think that first off, we have to submit. If it's for you today to submit by getting on your knees, praying, and asking God to just reveal himself, show himself, and that you would humble yourself to his will and his plan, because he is truly good, then maybe that's what it is for you today. And just taking that one step in trusting in Jesus, whatever it may be, whatever it is for you, whatever that thing is that you're holding on to, grasping onto, just relinquish it. Give it to God. Allow him to take care of it and trust in his provision. Hey, I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.